Okay, so welcome to our combined STARS training slash launch of Toro Surplus and our Green Office certification program. So for those of you who are listening to the recording after the fact, this is a training basically to go over some new services that the Office of Sustainability is providing to you all as employees. So we traditionally have an annual training program called STAR, the STAR program, which is basically our leadership program for those of you staff members who just want to know more about the latest and greatest in our sustainability offerings. So for this year, we're basically treating this training as your STARS training. So anyone who completes this training on CSU Learn, attend the webinar, you'll be getting a special certificate if you do it within our Race to Zero Waste competition period. So basically, as long as you do this before the end of March, you'll be getting a special certificate from us recognizing your professional development. So our main star of the show today is going to be the sneak preview of our brand new app called Toro Surplus. So this is a really great tool that we've been working on for a while. This actually is used by our colleagues over in Sac State to great effect. But basically, it's a more efficient way for us as employees to share, post, describe, be able to hand around our stateside property. So furniture, office supplies, all that great stuff. So instead of emailing DH email to say, hey, I have so many ink cartridges or a desk, or I need a desk, I have a chair, right? All that stuff. We actually have a dedicated platform for that, which we're calling Toro Surplus. So Scarlett, when she takes over, is actually going to walk you through that tool in detail. But in terms of framing what this is, so again, this is really intended for employees only. Students actually have a different tool that we're not going to cover here, but it's really designed for us as state employees to be able to share our state property with each other. So the intention of that is to make sure that we're only listing stateside property, right? So stuff you bought on your P card through a PO, all that fun stuff with your department budget, right? In addition to that, we're not trying to make money, right? So it's purely just, hey, this thing is offered for free. It goes back out for free, minus the cost of any work orders. Obviously, it would take to have a mover or somebody come and install it, and all that fun stuff that would be done through the work order process, not necessarily on the platform. And in terms of the rules for using this platform, again, we are focused on stateside, like work property, right? So we're asking people to refrain from doing things like, oh, I'm going to list my personal couch on here or anything like that. It just gets super complicated. So that's the intention of the items that you'll see on the app, as well as the items that you can list. In addition to that, we want to make sure you're listing things that are in good condition, right? So no, like if it's, junk, basically, like, just put in a work order to get rid of that. We don't need to see it on the platform here. But the idea is like, hey, this is new and unused or really good condition. We just want to see it go back out to the rest of the campus. The only other exception is that we don't want to see any IT tagged assets, right? Because as you know, IT has their own policies when it comes to asset distribution. So basically, if it's like a laptop, printer that IT is tagged, right? We want to make sure that that gets back to IT per normal protocol, right? So don't be listing it on the app here, just give it back to IT. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. So pretty much furniture, cabinets, bookcases, all that fun stuff. Office supplies, right? So I have a ton of extra paper or notebooks, etc., pens that I want to give back out. That can all be listed here. And in terms of the work order process, right? So per CSUEU, CBA requirements, there are certain criteria where you do have to place a work order to get it back out. So the criteria for that would be anything that's physically over 40 pounds, right? So even if it's like, oh, it's just a bunch of binders, if we're talking, 40 pounds plus, that does require a work order through facilities to have someone move that, because per CBA requirements, we can't have people just running around with 50-pound boxes of stuff trying to get it to someone's office and things like that, unless you're a professional mover. So you will be prompted in when you create a listing, if that's the case, of saying, reminding you, hey, this is over 50 pounds, please create a work order. So you'll get that prompt, but that's why that's there. Additionally, if it's a item that's a furniture item, regardless of how big it is, right? Because even if it's a 20-pound, bookcase, right, that's still a very bulky piece of furniture that does require a professional mover to move. So again, you will get that prompt as the claiming user saying, hey, you need to place a work order to make sure your transaction's been approved, make sure you place a work order, get that item from where it is to where you want it to go. With those friendly reminders, Scarlett's going to walk you through the process of actually creating a listing. And it's pretty much just going in order. But there's one field that I wanted to flag that is important to list is that there's a section on dimensions. So when Scarlett goes over that, she'll remind you, but basically, if I have a desk, right, having actual real dimensions, right, of like, okay, it's like 48 inches by 20 inches by 10 inches, right? That's actually pretty critical for the planning process. So whenever you're moving furniture from one side of campus to another, if it's a big piece of furniture, when you trigger the work order system, we actually have our team in capital planning reviewing large furniture transactions to make sure it actually fits into your space, meets ADA requirements, fire marshal approval, all that fun stuff. So that'll help them a lot in terms of just being able to let your request go through if they see, oh, okay, yeah, that's not going to affect your space layout and not holding up the process. So just wanted to call that out in terms of the fields that you'll see. Other than that, basically the process is if you do have to put a work order in, it's on the claiming user. So you as the lister, you're just kind of putting this up for anyone who wants it. If myself, let's say I really want your desk. Any associated work orders and chargebacks and stuff, that would be on me because I'm the one taking possession of that item. So just wanted to clarify that too in terms of the rules. It is all in the fine print, but I know a lot of people don't look at that. So we just wanted to make sure that that was clear from the get-go in terms of how to use this tool. And then other than that, we really hope you enjoy this new tool. I think it's been something that the campus has needed for a really long time. And hopefully this represents a huge improvement from having to, email DH email or email facilities or call somebody and say, hey, does someone have something that I need? You can actually see it on the Toro Surplus app. So I guess with that, I'll pass it off to Scarlett to actually walk you through the app. We have screen share up, so enjoy it.
Great, thank you, Ellie. So when you go to the website, which is torosurplus.cscdh.edu, you'll be welcomed with the homepage here. In order to use this platform, what you want to do first is you want to register for an account. And all that is you creating an account on here to allow you to upload items as well as to request items. And in order to do that, when you go to register, you'll be asked to create your login using your single sign-on credentials. For the purposes of this training, I went ahead and logged in already just to save us some time. So we're gonna go back to this homepage here and say you're new to this this website and you want to post something, right? So you want to go to I want to give something away. You're going to go ahead and press that, and you're going to be welcomed with some policies here. You want to certify that the item is in good repair and working condition. And if not, please create a work order to have that item disposed. Second, as Ellie mentioned earlier, you want to make sure that the item is not an IT tagged asset. If it is, there's a link here to schedule an appointment with IT to drop that item off. So if your item meets both of these requirements, you can go ahead and start creating your listing. So for your commodity, say, for example, I want to put my ergonomic chair up for grabs. I'm going to click ergonomics chair. It'll automatically fill these fields in for you. So category is furniture. You also have the option of uploading office supplies as well, which I'll go over an example after. You want to press chair here. So the commodity is a chair. And a description, you can put the color of it. In this case, mine is black. The number of items that you have to list here. And this is the area that Ellie was explaining that is important for capital planning to know is the measurement of the item. So we do ask that you go the extra mile in putting in the length, width, and the height of the item so that they know what the space is for another office that they're going to put this in. But for the training purposes, I'm just going to put some numbers in here.
Yeah, and while Scarlett's typing that in too, note about the commodities section, right? Of just, it's basically categories. So we're actually working with the developer now to populate that a little bit more accurately. But worst case scenario, you just go to the category, the subcategory, and enter the right, pathway, right? We'll continue working with the developer to make that nicer and easier. And all it does is when you click on commodity, it just pre-fill to make it easier for you. So you're not kind of guessing like, okay, well, how do I describe this or to affiliate? It just auto populates. Again, you can basically edit the fields however you want. So you can kind of select a basic like, oh, I kind of want a chair, right? And then it'll auto populate with a bunch of fields. You can actually go back and edit any of these fields to kind of customize to what it actually is. So feel free to use that option.
Great, thank you. So when you come down to the weight of the item, like in this example here, it auto-populated to 30 pounds, but if you're not sure how much your item weighs, there is a list of average examples of weights of different items here. So we're gonna go ahead with the 30-pound weight there. This will auto-populate for you as well. This is something that you don't have to touch. This is auto-populated as well.
Except for retail price, which,
yes.
Yeah, so this is kind of based on the default, right? Because we picked a pre-selected, like, oh, fill this out for me. Obviously, for the retail price, you would just fill that out with how much your chair actually cost originally, right? It's more of a ballpark to understand, like, okay, originally I paid $500 for this, or I would have to pay $800 for this new, just to give us a sense of the value of the item that you're putting up.
Great. So next you'll be welcome with the location that the item resides at. So in this case, we'll go ahead and put LIB North 2514. And then we all know we're at 1000 East Victoria Street, so they do ask that we fill that in. Zip code 90747. I am part of facility, so you want to put your department here. I am located at
The library.
Yeah, library.
And you only have to do this once, assuming that you're kind of in the same location. That's where all the items you're listing are going to be living in. And so once you create it, it'll actually kind of have that for you next time. So you can just click that save location to save you some time. So this is just the first time when you're setting it up. Which actually we're still working on some more development things. So that's why this is a sneak preview, because the live version won't go out until probably next week when we send the official campus-wide email. So,
right.
But yeah, theoretically, you'll have a location. We actually have one on the thing, so we can actually proceed. So yeah, you can see that we have a save location already. So we can just use that for the purposes of this listing, right? Oh. And yeah, and you can actually see that we have some auto-populated listings that we've created just for fun. So you can kind of see how that looks from that perspective.
Let's see if it, so it's again, we apologize. We're still working on with the developer on the post. So there's some glitches that they have here, but for training purposes, once you put your location at the bottom, it'll ask for the length of time that you want that commodity up for. So you're able to choose about like a week, or like say you're moving out of your office and you need everything out of your office by a day. So you have that option to choose that length of time. Once you choose that length of time, it'll prompt you to save it, and then it'll populate up here in the listing section.
That one I can show. Yeah, so for example, you can see on this, the kind of test listing I made for just some sample notebooks, I just kind of theoretically said, oh yeah, I'm going to have this available until Friday. And then after that, listing, we can delete it and say, hey, it's not available anymore. Just to kind of give you a sense of timing. You can also click the option like, oh, I never want this listing to expire. I'll just keep it in my office forever until someone comes to claim it. So that's an option too. So you can just kind of mess with the timing of that depending on what fits your convenience. But you can kind of see what those postings look like once you actually click submit.
Great. So now that we have our listings, I want to give an example of what the process looks like when you want to ask for something. So you will go to post, I want to ask for something, and you will say, for example, I'm looking for a chair. Again, it'll auto-populate to the category and the subcategory there. The description is not really necessary. Something that is optional that you can fill in. You can put the number of items that you're looking for, your location, then you go to next. And you have the option of uploading a picture of the item that you're looking for as well. And once you populate everything there, you'll go to post listing. And then we go back to listings, and these banners here will let you know what is wanted and what is available. So the user is able to go in and see what it is that someone is looking for. And when you say, for example, I'm interested in the notebook that Ellie posted here. I have the option of, let's see.
Requesting, we're logged in on the admin side.
Oh, that's right, yeah. You would have the option of requesting that item, and when the item gets requested, the person who uploaded that commodity will receive an email letting them know that someone is interested in their posting. So when that happens, you log into your account and you're able to message that person directly on here. So there's a chat.
Yeah, and if you actually go to account and there's a dashboard called My Request, right? So let's say that I was the person who put up those notebooks, right? If someone's requesting my item, I'll get an email notification. I can go back to this section and say, oh, okay, I can see that somebody is asking me to, that they want my notebooks, right? And then I can use the app to basically message that person back or confirm the transaction. It also enables you to do partial, right? So let's say I had 5 notebooks. If the person only wants 2, I can actually confirm like, yes, you can have 2 of my notebooks and actually do that through the app. So it's a really convenient way of being able to message directly, and you'll get those notifications too if people are reaching out to you. Similar to vice versa. So if, let's say, I wanted that ergonomic chair and I requested one because I found one on the listing, that's where the owner can communicate with me and say, yes, you can have my chair, go ahead and place the work order. And then I'm able to do that all through the app. So just a little more efficient than trying to email and post pictures and things like that. So yeah, so this is basically your dashboard for being able to complete all those requests.
Yeah. Ellie, am I missing anything? I think we covered everything.
Yeah, I mean, and in terms of the dashboard, or another thing about closing out listings too. So once you've actually completed your transaction, you'll be prompted to delete the listing. So we can actually try doing that if you want to just get rid of one of these ones. So when you go to delete it, there's 2 options, right? So one, either, oh yeah, I made a successful exchange, someone took it, right? So then they can remove it from the portal and say, oh, this item was successfully salvaged, remove it from the portal. If there's something wrong with it, or like, oh, no, the transaction didn't go through, I'm just going to take it with me to my next office, or I decided to keep the item after all, whatever your reason, you can just click that option and actually type in the comments why you're removing the listing, right? It's like, hey, it didn't go, I'm keeping it, whatever the situation is, and then you save it, and then the listing gets deleted, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. So that's pretty much the process. The developers like to say that it's very user-friendly and intuitive. So hopefully just by clicking around the app and playing with it, it's pretty easy to figure out what the functionality is. But hopefully that walkthrough was helpful in at least seeing what it'll look like when you actually click on the portal once it's live and actually start playing with some of the features and options. So great. I guess with that, transitioning to the green office.
Yes. So I am going to transition to our green office / lab program. So these are for offices, departments that are interested in going above and beyond in sustainability, or just getting recognized for the sustainable efforts that your office or department are making already, right? So the way you can do that is either going to the email that we sent out campus-wide with the link, or you can go into our website, cscdh/sustainability, and you will find it on our homepage. And the way you schedule a walkthrough with us, you will go to that link. It'll prompt you to this PDF here. You can go ahead and click on the form, and it'll be a form that'll have you populate in your name, your email, the department that you're part of, and then 3 different time slots on when you are available to meet with me or somebody from our office. And then once you schedule that, someone from our office will reach out to confirm that that appointment with you. And basically what the walkthrough looks like, for example, for the green office is we do a walkthrough of your office just to see what sustainable impacts your office or department has already made. And then we go through the different programs that we offer. Once you do that walkthrough with myself or someone from our office, you are then certified green office certified. We take a picture of you and your team, and you are recognized through our newsletter and are given some goodie bags for your office as well with some zero waste sustainability swag. But aside from the green office, there are 4 subcategories that you can also take part of. For example, we have the green events. So many departments and offices host events on campus. If you want to certify your event for green certification, we have bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. And each of those have their own tracks with different points that you can accumulate for the stands that you have. So there's one track. The other track is for Green Labs certifications, where I go into a lab and assess the type of lab, what sustainable practices they have in play, and then review different ways that laboratory can go zero waste and become more sustainable. Every office and department is different. So, and everyone generates different types of waste and has different types of events, right? So the walkthrough is customized to the way your department and office is run. But if you are a lab, you will get a free glove box, so you can start recycling any latex or gloves that you generate in that space. And we also have the sustainability challenge, which is more for offices that want to go above and beyond in their sustainable practices. And that includes a specific checklist that the office does together as a whole. One of them, for example, is visiting us at the farmers market, taking pictures or going into the trail that we have here on campus. By participating in the sustainability challenge, one of the perks of participating is getting recognized and awarded at Earth Day as well. And then next we have the paperless challenge. So the paperless challenge is a special walkthrough that I do to ensure that the office is as paperless as possible. There is a separate checklist for that I can send to anybody who is interested in going through that track. But basically, giving the option to your employees, aside from paper, also digital, turning things in digital, not just fully paperless, right? So you get a special badge if you are certified paperless, as well as throwing a paperless party where I bring a giant recycling container and we throw away any blast papers that your office has. But yeah, this is the Green Office program. If you are interested in signing up, you can also email me directly, and then we can also schedule the walkthrough there as well.
And this is, you get basically this is our Sustainable Star program. So consider yourself Sustainable Stars. Basically, it's our employee recognition program to make sure that you as employees are getting recognized for your efforts to learn about the latest sustainability services and to help be a champion within your own departments and advocating and helping to promote some of these services with your colleagues. So hope that you'll at least explore the Toro Surplus app when it launches live, as well as maybe encourage your departments to go get Green Office or Lab certified. So hope that you'll be joining us one way or the other. And also feel free to share all these services with your colleagues.
All right. Thank you.